everyone, welcome to This Day. It is Saturday, May 27th. On our show today, we have Harvard Eye Associates with Dr. John Hovnessian. And of course, he always has fantastic information for us. Then we sat down with Gerald Tilley with the History Club. And he has been a teacher of history for a very long time, so he really enjoys the club and wants to tell everybody about it because they talk about a lot of different history from all over the world. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our weather. Well, we are looking at partly cloudy skies for the remainder of the weekend and into our holiday, Monday. Let's take a look at these numbers: 66, 56, 67, 56, and 66, 56. If you're traveling, take a look at these numbers. Local beaches, 64, 56, San Diego, 66, 59, Santa Barbara, 64, 54, and Palm Springs, 95, 66. Tahoe, Big Bear, and Mammoth all in the 60s with the overnights in the 30s, and Las Vegas, 94, 70. Our sunrise this morning was at 5:44, and our sunset will be 7:53. And take a look at this gorgeous shot. It's called Maya Bay, Phi Phi Island in Thailand. Just gorgeous. And I understand that that area really has some amazing rock sculptures, as you can see in the background of the photo. Now, as a reminder, on Monday, there will be a lot of runners here in the morning hours of 6:30 to 7:30 on Monday, May 29th, as the Memorial Day Laguna Hills 5K and 10K are happening. Just so you know, the runners will enter Gate 2 and will leave through Gate 2 between 6:30 and 7:30. So if you happen to be up and about during that time frame, you might just catch a runner doing one of those 5Ks or 10Ks. When we come back, we will have Harvard Eye Associates, so stay tuned.
Dr. Farhumand and her associates at Brilliant Smile are excited to announce we now feature cone beam computed tomography. CBCT scans have many benefits over traditional x-rays. They are fast, safe, non-invasive, and provide better care to our patients. The 3D images provide an accurate view of teeth, bones, and soft tissue. It allows us to diagnose and treat more effectively. Also, it features modern diagnosing of sleep apnea by checking the airways and obstructions. Get started today. Call Brilliant Smile, Laguna Woods Village favorite dentist.
Some people's legacies are written on monuments. Yours can be written on lives. The Salvation Army has financial planning options to help plan your estate. Our planned giving advisors are professionals with years of experience who care about your goals. We are dedicated to exploring the financial advantages of each gift opportunity and partnering with you to leave a legacy. Contact the Salvation Army today to learn how confidential, personal financial planning can help you achieve your goals while transforming lives across our community.
The California Attorney General, Ron Bonta, issued a consumer alert on hearing aids sold over the counter or online. Quote, while hearing aids sold online or over the counter may appear to be more cost effective than traditional hearing aids, they may not properly address your particular hearing loss needs, or they may be outright scams. He goes on to say, get checked by a licensed hearing professional and beware of misleading claims. Call Advanced Ear Care today for answers on over-the-counter hearing aids and options. Tell them Stuart sent you.
At Harvard Eye Associates,
we are committed to your vision care
and quality of life.
It's a commitment we don't take lightly.
Our trusted team of doctors provides specialized eye care using state-of-the-art technology.
We deliver what matters to you
and your family.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Dr. John Hovnessian, who is here on behalf of Harvard Eye Associates. Well, welcome back. How are you?
Thank you, Lisa. It's great to be here as always.
And I thank you very much for coming in because I know you have a busy schedule. So today, a very interesting subject matter, mercury poisoning.
Yeah.
And you would wonder how that's going to affect our eyesight. So tell me a little bit about what mercury poisoning is.
Yeah, so late last year this became newsworthy because there was a story of a patient a woman in Minnesota who became exposed to high levels of mercury. And so we are getting a certain number of questions from patients about it. And mercury is everywhere. It's an element that's present in the environment, present in soil, present in all things, but usually in very small quantities. Where we tend to get into trouble is when we get exposed to some product or some thing that contains higher levels of mercury. And probably the single most common source that is dangerous is actually cosmetics.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Now, see, sometimes we try to read that teeny tiny little print on the back of some of those products, and you just can't. But then also a fallacy, which you were telling me about, is that we don't necessarily get exposure to mercury through what we eat.
Yeah, so we can talk about that first. So what we eat may contain some mercury too, and a lot of people talk about fish and the concern that fish, particularly the larger fish, which tend to have, the swordfish and the larger bodied fish tend to have a greater exposure to mercury and greater content. In balance, if you look at the content of mercury in fish and what that causes in terms of health damage versus the health benefits of eating fish a couple of times a week, in general, it favors eating fish more rather than less. Now, some exceptions, it's better to avoid high mercury-containing fish, particularly if you're pregnant, and for small children because they're particularly susceptible to mercury poisoning. But and the FDA and the CDC have on their websites lists of fish that have more or less mercury to guide, what variety you should probably buy.
Okay, so all right, so that's an internal situation. So what we're talking about today is external, and we're looking at cosmetics, and we can buy cosmetics anywhere. Right? You can get them at just about any store. And you can even get them sold at swap meets and things like that.
That's right.
So what happened? This lady was exposed. Is that correct?
So she was using a skin whitening product. So it's often skin lightening products, those that take away age spots and that lighten our skin, are particularly prone to contain mercury. But any beauty product that's applied to the skin can potentially contain mercury. And this is really difficult partly because just exactly what you said, there are so many places you can buy it. You can buy it online, you can buy it at swap meets, you can buy it at stores, and the FDA regulates it, but they don't approve products for the use in the U.S. So there may be illegally sold products here in the U.S. that contain high levels of mercury, and sometimes it's labeled and sometimes it's not. So, it's recommended for people, if you're using cosmetics, learn about what you're getting. First, always read the ingredient list because that is going to be if it lists mercury in any way, just don't use it. And by the way, it doesn't necessarily say mercury. There's a word calomel that means mercury.
So how do you spell that for me?
C-A-L-O-M-E-L. Calomel is a word that's commonly substituted for mercury. Or it may say mercurous or mercuric, which are just ionic forms of mercury that they're still mercury. And those are the forms that bind to neurologic tissue and cause trouble.
Oh, boy.
And so you have to be careful about that. And as I said, a lot of them that have ingredients labeled don't list mercury, even if they have mercury in them. The woman in Minnesota who was affected, the local health authority tested some of her cosmetics. One particular product that didn't list mercury in its ingredients had 18,000 times the concentration that is allowed in the U.S. For a cosmetic product. So,
are they adding it in, or is it their machinery that is using? I mean, how is it getting in there?
Typically, it's added because it does have some, benefits in terms of shutting down melanin production, and that's the benefit in terms of skin lightening.
I see.
So the product works, but there's no way that it's worth the trouble that it can cause. Would you trade your brain power to have to get rid of age spots? No. And remember also that the damage done is not just to the person who's taking the mercury containing product, using it, and of course using it on the skin is the same as using it. It goes right through the skin. But it's also a risk to family members. Because, for example, in the woman in Minnesota, they tested her children. Her children had 150 times the recommended concentration of mercury in their blood.
Wow.
A washcloth that you wipe your face with now contains mercury, and that doesn't necessarily come out in the wash.
Oh,
and so other people are exposed to it. Just the air, vapor of mercury is very dangerous. So
wow.
The best thing you can do is use reputable products, purchase through reputable sources. I would avoid swap meets for buying cosmetics. Yeah. Read the instructions. If they don't come in English, that's one red flag, whatever they say. But even if they do come in English, it's good to look at websites, cross-reference with other sites that might tell you that, hey, this is a reputable product.
Right.
Beauty products are very habitual. We tend to use what we like, and we continue to use it over a long period of time. And so the risk means that we have a responsibility to make sure that what we're using is not going to harm our bodies or our brains.
What symptoms was the gal having? Because I'm wondering if, I mean, we use eye products all the time.
Yeah.
And so was she breaking out in a rash? Did she have styes? What was it?
So mercury poisoning has a number of symptoms that are somewhat nonspecific. So irritability, a little bit just feeling tired, right?
That could be anything.
Yeah, could be 1,000. Could be not getting
that
your coffee.
That was me this morning.
Before your coffee, right? It can be just sort of forgetfulness. It can be a whole bunch of tiredness, a whole bunch of things that are nonspecific. If you feel like you have a change in your health, always check with your doctor. If you're at all concerned you may have been exposed to something, ask your doctor to test for mercury poisoning, because you want to know about if it's happening, and then you want to investigate and eliminate those sources in your life.
Wow.
And this particular woman, I bring this case up because she lost vision. It affected her optic nerve.
Oh my.
Neural tissue is attacked by mercury. It causes free oxygen species to damage the tissue. She lost some of her peripheral vision, and she'll never regain it.
Wow.
So,
a unique case, though.
Unique, but not that unique. You know, we know that, for example, macular degeneration is linked to mercury exposure. Other neurologic diseases, Parkinson's, ALS, Alzheimer's, all can be associated with mercury poisoning. So this is an important problem that we face even in this country, where we think our products are safe, and we have to educate ourselves and protect ourselves.
It seems like every time you turn around, there's something else, right?
Something new that can kill you.
And it's difficult, as you mentioned, to pinpoint it and find it and try to protect yourself. So great information. Now, you mentioned the FDA and the CDC. Do they have do they have the products listed that we should be careful about? Or?
There is not an exhaustive list of products. There are certain products I know that are listed as with warnings. But in general, it's better to find products that they sort of recommend as safe, or other websites recommend as safe. And you have to be careful. There's a lot of websites just promoting the sale of products. Make sure that it's not just a small number of places that it's being promoted, but that it's a widely accepted product. You're probably safe if you do that.
Okay. All right. Well, perfect. Thank you for the information and the warning.
Nice to see you.
You too. If you want more information about what we have just discussed, you can certainly contact Harvard Eye Associates at harvardeye.com or call them at 949-951-2020. We'll be right back.
Whether you're tech challenged, use tech daily, or a tech geek like me, my show Let's Talk Tech has something for everyone. I'm Debbie Dotson, the host, and each month I bring a variety of information about the world of technology. My content is delivered in a basic way to help all my viewers, no matter what their skill level is, with technology. Watch us on Village Television or subscribe to the Village TV YouTube channel, where you'll never miss an episode of Let's Talk Tech.
Pacific Cremation Services offers you the ultimate freedom to become one with the salty breezes and brilliant sunset reflections. A scattering at sea is a unique, beautiful way to honor the life of anyone who chooses to be cremated. We help you plan the details and understand what to expect. Choose from our 3 simple plans and let us help you start the process of healing and life celebration. Contact us at pacificcremationservices.com to create a personalized service at sea today.
We promise to meet you with an open heart and curious mind. To never have the answers before we've heard your story. Because you are not everyone else, and healthcare is not one size fits all. Highest performing hospital, top ranked physicians, 50 convenient locations, right here in Orange County. You, empowered by Hoag.
At Healing Hearts Emergency Animal Hospital, we are dedicated to emergency veterinary care through high-quality veterinary services and compassion. We offer state-of-the-art diagnostics at competitive pricing. Our doctors will see and care for dogs, cats, and most exotics. In case of emergency, rest assured Healing Hearts Emergency is here for you when your primary veterinarian is closed. Open nights, weekends, and all major holidays.
Welcome back. Well, we have Gerald Tilley here on behalf of the Laguna Woods Village History Club. Well, welcome. Very nice to have you.
Thank you, Lisa. It's very nice to be here.
Well, we appreciate you coming in because I know, sometimes we don't always get to meet all the clubs, so I'm glad you could finally make it in. And they just had a big club expo not too long ago where all of the clubs, 250 of them, and you guys are obviously one of them.
We were one of those clubs. We were not at the expo.
Okay,
however,
okay. But you've been, how long has the History Club been around?
Started about 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
By a retired physician. Mm-hmm. And then it was closed during COVID. And then one of the members called me after about 1.5 years and said, hey, why don't you and I restart the History Club?
Okay, excellent.
So
here you are, and you guys have how many members?
Well, we have 66 actually paid members, yeah.
Okay. And what is the History Club about?
Well,
history, of course.
History. We've had a few local events, but mostly it's world history from all over. Like we've had the complete history of the Panama Canal. We had one on who was surprised on December 7th, 1941.
Oh, okay.
The Japanese attack at Pearl Harbor.
Right.
And lots of similar, so we even had a history of rabbinical Judaism.
Oh.
So we try to just, whatever the members are interested in,
right.
All but one of our speakers for the last 2 years have been here from Laguna Woods.
Really?
Yeah.
So what makes them experts in the history? Were they teachers? Had they been travelers?
Well, some of them it's travel. Some of them it's their unique experience.
Okay.
We had a gentleman who was 99 years old at the time, who talked about being shot down over Nazi Germany and surviving a prison camp.
Wow.
And we had another lady, a 100-year-old lady, talk about escaping from Nazi Germany and having a new life in the U.S.
Isn't that great?
So, yeah.
And you have members from all over the world. I mean,
yes.
China and what's the farthest reaching member that you have?
Oh, that's a good question, but I don't really know. I haven't asked them what their background is. I just mention off and on, if you're interested in presenting a topic or you know someone you think would be an interesting presenter, let us know.
Okay, excellent. Now you have a unique background. You taught history in high school as well as college. Tell me a little bit about what you taught.
Well, for 12 years I taught 20th century American history in high school. And then since then, I've been teaching. I have graduate degrees in education, social sciences, and in theology.
Okay.
And so I do teaching in both areas. But I've taught in Odessa, Ukraine, Simferopol in the Crimea, Donetsk, which is also under Russian control right now, I think. Taught in Armenia one summer. So, I love travel, I love speaking.
Yeah.
And it's been an exciting life.
That's excellent. And and today we are looking at so many different things going on in our world, that having the knowledge that you and many of your members have is probably a really nice thing, because you can reflect on things that may not be covered nowadays.
That's true, yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
And we have a perspective that's different if you've never traveled or gotten to know another culture.
Yes.
So.
Well, let's talk about when you guys meet. You do have a couple of different meetings that you do, and it looks like Clubhouse 2 in the Gravilla room. Tell me about when it is.
We meet the first Thursday of every month.
Okay.
From 1:30 to 3.
All right.
And so our presenter usually has anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, and then we open it up for questions and discussion.
Okay. All right. So. Perfect. And do you guys ever go on field trips or anything like that?
We haven't, although there's a possibility of going to the Molten Museum.
Oh, yes.
Last month, our speaker was the head of the Molten Museum.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And that created some interest in our members.
Yeah, it's we actually had them on some time ago, and it is a great museum that's just right here, and you just would never know, and they have a lot of great artifacts from just right around here, so excellent.
That's great.
Well, perfect. Well, I appreciate the information. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. And if you want more information, you can always get in touch with Gerald, and his email is mailtilly3@gmail.com. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the RadNet Health Spot. I'm Stephanie Landon with some information for you about risk factors for breast cancer. Information that can help you take an important step toward cancer prevention. Did you know that the main factors that influence your chances of getting breast cancer are being a woman and getting older? Obviously, these are things none of us can really change. Likewise, there are several risk factors associated with breast cancer that we cannot control. However, there are also many risk factors that we can change. It's important to remember that having a risk factor does not mean you will get breast cancer. But if you do have risk factors, you can talk to your doctor about ways you can lower your risk and about making sure you are regularly screened for breast cancer. So let's look at some of the risk factors that we can't change. These are called non-modifiable risk factors, and they include getting older, because the risk for breast cancer does increase with age. Genetic mutations, such as the BRCA1 and BRCA2. Starting your menstrual period before the age of 12 and starting menopause after the age of 55 expose women to hormones longer, which raises the risk for breast cancer. Having dense breasts, having a personal history of breast cancer. Family history is also a risk factor, meaning if you have a first-degree relative, such as mother, sister, or daughter who has had breast cancer, or if you have multiple family members on either side of your family who have had breast or ovarian cancer. Women who had radiation therapy to the chest or breasts before the age of 30, and being of Ashkenazi Jewish ancestry. So what about risk factors you can change? Well, let's look at those. Women who are not physically active have a higher risk of getting breast cancer. Being overweight or obese puts women at higher risk, especially those who are older and postmenopause. Some forms of hormone replacement therapy taken during menopause can raise the risk for breast cancer, especially when taken for more than 5 years. Also, certain birth control pills have also been found to increase breast cancer risk. Having a first pregnancy after the age of 30 and not breastfeeding is considered a risk. Studies have shown that not only is drinking alcohol a risk factor, but a woman's risk for breast cancer increases with the more alcohol she drinks. Smoking and being exposed to chemicals that can cause cancer are also risk factors. It's important to remember, even if you have risk factors that you cannot change, understanding your personal risk for developing breast cancer will help you make the best lifestyle choices and healthcare decisions. If you have any risk factors, you should speak with your healthcare provider. You may be eligible for genetic testing or additional screening exams. The bottom line is this: Knowledge is power.
At Freedom Village, we want you to create a life worth believing in.
Staff is fantastic. Whenever you need help, they're there to help you.
I met so many people. I have so many friends now compared to when I was, living by myself. I didn't have hardly any friends.
I have to say it was one of the best decisions of my life.
It's like living in a resort. It's just the nicest way to live.
Our movie for today is called 80 for Brady. And of course, it's all those lovely ladies that are starring in it, and they have a real infatuation for Tom Brady. So that is going to be today at 2 p.m. with subtitles, 6 p.m. without subtitles, brought to you by Pacific Financial Planners. And of course, Monday is Memorial Day, and we will have a This Day on Monday. But I did want to let you know that they're going to have a Memorial Day celebration, and that is going to be at 1 p.m. at the Performing Arts Center. They are asking for $5 donations, and the proceeds go to Operation Comfort Soldier. They will have the All-American Boys Choir, as well as the American Legion Post 257, and some guest speakers. If you want more information about that, you can always get in touch with Recreation at 597-4285. And then, of course, we do have a couple of other announcements that I wanted to let you know. On June 1st is a patio concert that's going to be in Clubhouse 1, and that will be at 6:30 p.m. Tickets are $18, and you can get those at the Clubhouse 1 box office. Then a few other announcements we have here is the Art Affair is coming up, and that's going to be on June 3rd, Saturday, Clubhouse 2 from 11 to 3. And then the Video Club is going to be doing a very fun short film festival, a little showcase that they're going to be showing a variety of different short comedies, documentaries, and animations. And they will be serving free popcorn. So you can show up on Monday, June 5th, 1 to 3 p.m. in the Video Lab. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our weather. We are looking at partly cloudy skies for the remainder of the weekend and into next week. Of course, we do have our holiday on Monday, and our Community Services Center will be closed, but you can always go onto the website to get more information. Temperatures 66, 56, 67, 56, and 66, 56. If you're traveling, numbers are looking about the same for all the beaches up and down the coast, 64, 66, and 64. Palm Springs, 95. Tahoe, Big Bear, and Mammoth all in the 60s with the overnights in the 30s, and Las Vegas, 94, 70. Have a great rest of your weekend. We will see you back here on Monday and right here at 9 o'clock in the morning on Village Television. And enjoy your Memorial Day. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Jack.
And I'm Christine, and we're the owners of the Jewelry Box Estate Buyers. Whether you're looking to liquidate an estate or sell your jewelry, there's one thing you need above all else.
And that's trust. Trust that the people who are buying your treasures are treating you fairly. And if your heirlooms need repair or appraisal, our master jeweler and graduate gemologists are here to help.
At the Jewelry Box Estate Buyers,
it's about trust.